Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, Jon and Nez, hanging out. Platform of the people, Underdog Fantasy, the Black and Yellow Dog app. We got tons of stuff to draft today. This I don't want to scare anybody, but this may be the last day all season long that we can get 2 games of NBA on a slate together and 2 games of NHL on a slate together. All 4 of those series are 3-1 right now. The minute we lose one of those, it's going to be over for those contests in our lobbies. We're going to be cash game kings only from that point forward. So I don't want to scare people, but I want the people to get in the lobbies right now, Nez, because we got to make the most of this opportunity. I know you're thinking the same.
Yeah, no, this is sort of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like not an equinox, but like whenever it's like the shortest day of the year and the longest day of, like the shortest day of winter, it's like a turning of the page in the battle royale calendar. You know what I'm trying to say?
The battle royale solstice.
That's what it is. The solstice. Thank you.
Dude, you could have given me like 800 to 1. Nobody in the chat thought I would come up with solstice in that spot.
Jon's an astrology guy. People don't know this about you. You're checking your charts every day, seeing if it's a good day or a bad day for you.
Yeah, are the Scorpios gonna win on the app today? I don't know. Got to check my horoscope. Oh man, appreciate the real ones who are here hanging out. Apologies for yesterday, guys. Mr. Good Boy doing all right now. We haven't had any hiccups in the last 24 hours. Only got me up once in the middle of the night last night. But yeah, Mr. Good Boy hijacked the show yesterday and then had to go get checked out at the vet and stuff. He's on some probiotics or whatever and stuff like this and some little bit of medicine, but he should be good. He should be good from here on out. So apologies for yesterday's show getting cut short there, but I did right at the buzzer there, Nez, sneak in. I like the bats in Seattle on the Seattle side. Just got that in the last 9 minutes of the program there. But yeah, appreciate everyone hanging out here today. I know there's a lot of other content on right now, a lot of other good streamers with some football content, but I know the real ones, the multi-sport draftleets are here hanging out with us, Nez.
Yeah, that's right. We always appreciate our loyal viewers. Good call with Seattle. I love the Astros. Was really excited about those Astros bats. So, broke even yesterday. Love that. That's always a plus. We love to not lose money when we get, the highest run total correct. Love that. So yeah, good day.
Jose Altuve with the home run that was a home run in 1-of-1 park last night. The first wall scraper into the Crawford boxes, just flirted over the wall there.
Gotta know your parks. Gotta know your context.
Absolutely, yeah. Jose Altuve versus a lefty. Unfortunately, my majority of my Astros stacks there, I think I got 25 entries. In majority of my Astros stacks had Walker and or Yanyer Diaz mixed in there. So I wasn't as sharp as our friend Chad who took it down last night, but we'll get to that in a sec. Nez, while we're talking baseball, I want to send a little love because this is a community and there's been so much hostility and talk recently with the starting of best ball season and the Twitterverse there. So we got to flip the script out here and send some love to one of our tried and true members for a long time there, Brad, one of the best in the baseball streets there, BRDMC3. No, going through some real life stuff there with his partner. Just wanted to send some love his way in case he's tuning in today. So yeah, just flipping the script on some love in this community.
Yeah, man. Thinking about you, Brad. Yeah, that was that was hard to read. So yeah, shout out Brad, loyal member of our community, really good guy. So thinking about him today for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Nez, let's pivot into we'll do last night's winners and that sort of thing. Yeah, but I want to start with something that I touched on ever so slightly yesterday before having the show ripped off the air there momentarily, and that is the brand new Gladiator program here. So bring that one up for the people. Where did I put it? Right here. Boom. Yeah, I think that there are tiers to this, obviously, as we've seen in the past. There, the bronze through top dog. I think the dollar amounts a little sticker shock at first here for some
Yeah.
people, right? Where it's like even to qualify for the rake back structure, you have to max BBM or whatever. So I understand a little bit there. They weren't able to, and they whatever run back the exact same formula for last year there. But I want to remind people that there's going to be additives to this, right? There's a little note at the base of this image here that you're going to share with us, Nez. And then there's also the Cardio Club has prizes attached to it this year, which include a full max entry into BBM next year. So I'll encourage people, if you are aiming to max BBM, you're chasing that 20% rake back bracket, that sort of thing, to do the most you can to mix in, some cardio club stuff, so you're eligible for those prizes. And then the footnotes there that you have for me, Nez, how do they read?
Yeah. So on the email, because of course, with the way that your Hotmail email is set up, you were not able to see this. They add we are adding weekly and monthly promos throughout the draft season and additional surprise rewards at the end of the year, which will be based on the tier that you end up in. So there is more to this that isn't explicitly outlined that we're getting. I have no idea what the additions are that we can expect, but I would assume the things that go really well in our community is deposit bonuses. So I would assume that we get some form of a deposit bonus maybe once or a couple times throughout draft season that will be a huge help in not just entering drafts in general, but hitting Gladiator, because that is like the 101 way. If you have that ability to max that deposit bonus, that's like a must if you are out here trying to optimize.
Yeah, that's a really good shout there, Nez. So that like the bonus money that's available at first glance here isn't just what you're seeing on the screen here. It is going to be the option to have some fill ups here and there and that sort of thing, and all of that will go factored into the rake in which you pay this season, a la the rake back here. So
Yep.
yeah.
Also, if you just max BBM and that's it, you essentially get 3 BBMs free for doing so, just to kind of like make it into more perspective. But I think most people watching this are, I would assume, are doing a little bit more than that. But I think the change makes sense. The sticker shock, totally understand. Totally can totally get like, wow, like, okay, I get, I'm not, if you're somebody used to hitting the highest tiers all the time and now you see this 50K and that's not feasible, I can understand that being, a little hard to look at. But at the end of the day, these rake back options still put the total rake, like, as far as like best in the industry goes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's neck and neck with some of the other rewards that you can get on other best ball sites. And I'm excited to see what kind of additions that they throw into this.
Yeah, love it. And different ways to get there, dude. We saw a dump of contests there after we talked about this yesterday a little bit. The puppy closed, the original puppy closed there, and bang, instantly we get a Superflex puppy. We get the pug. I was able to get one of those in last night and absolutely fucked up royally and took double Ravens tight ends and then had to stack on a third one. So I'm drawing stone dead in the pug thus far. And then we got a hound, dude. We got a hound dog here, 5 entry max for the time box contest. I love that for the low bankroll guys who are like, hey man, I don't want to compete with 150 max. I just want to know that I'm in a confined time box contest and I can just get my 5 in within my budget and do that. So a little bit of something for everyone here. And I thought it was perfectly articulated by our guy Chris, a longtime friend of the show here, in the best tweet I saw going today, literally begging Underdog to put out something for those of us who don't like football, baseball, basketball, hockey, golf, or the WNBA. So just perfect synopsis of what's going on the platform right now. We got something for everyone at every single price point with variety.
Yeah, I mean the tweet was hilarious from Chris, but yeah, they always do this. They always do this. You go 24 hours without your usual menu. Freak out a little bit. Send out your tweets, send out your posts, and then bam, they hit you with the Hound Dog and the Pug, which is just like the ultimate bankroll manager contest. It's a very even playing field. You can easily max and be on par with other maxers, and it doesn't cost that much to do so. These are like damn near like mandatory to enter if you're trying to get in volume for best ball. Like these are just like musts. They're awesome.
Yeah, for sure. The Pug being fast onlys too, it also takes that wrinkle out of the equation of like, oh, the information windows open longer for the slow drafters, bro. And it's like, nah, buddy, they're all fast.
I think that might have been your first Slappy impression, John. That was pretty good. You might need to break that out a little bit more.
Yeah, Alan saying like this, man, I hate all the FUD too, man. I think it's been ridiculous too. And I'm here to push back against it. And it's not because I'm a company man and such. It's just the fact that I love these games, man. I've been honest since the jump, both Nez and I, that we just love these games. And that's the reason this show started and continues to exist. But we know it's not our community, Nez, there. It's the best ball guys sliding in who pay their $300 a summer and move on. Not the true sickos hanging out with us, which is a perfect segue to what took place on the platform last night. Nothing but community members shipping here. Let me give this a refresh. Boom. Just a guy. The aforementioned Alan there hanging out in the chat takes it down. It's not time to capitulate on Halliburton yet, guys. Not yet for me. Man, is he playing some
how are you not capitulating yet, brother?
Dude, he's playing some incredible ball right now. He's doing exactly what we've been harping for years. For a year and a half, we've been harping, go to the basket, be a primary scorer, and then distribute off of your attack to the basket. Hallie, with his father in the building narrative, is fully in play now, Nez.
I mean, this is one of the better conference finals performances we have seen.
Oh, I mean, dude, it might be like a top 10 playoff performance ever.
Just incredible stuff to do everything he did with like no turnovers. It's just like he's crazy, man. He's crazy. I mean, like we're gonna have to have some uncomfortable conversations on where he stands present day in the NBA. Like off the rip, John. Hallie or Ant?
Like just trying to win a basketball game tonight?
Straight up, who's better right now?
I don't know. They're so different. I mean, my heart wants me to say Ant, but if I'm trying to win a basketball game tonight, I want the ball in Hallie's hands.
That's interesting because I think of Ant as like a better scorer, but like
no, yeah. I'm not thinking like in terms of like just shoot to win this. I mean like controlling the game start to finish.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, dude, Hallie is like it pains me to kind of like think about where he ranks right now because it's with some names that I would not typically put him above.
Like let's go full talk radio, bro, for a half second here. You got to win a basketball game, or you just you're starting your team next year. This is just for next year. Would you rather have Kat or Hallie on your team?
Hallie.
Would you rather have Kyrie Irving or Hallie?
Hallie.
Jason Tatum or Hallie? That's probably a stopgap.
Tatum.
Yeah. AD or Hallie?
AD.
Yeah. So there's probably like this middle ground where he's the 11th, 12th best player in the NBA because he put like the Lukas and the Jokers and the SGAs and all these guys on that side, and you're having a debate of like Ant versus Hallie versus
like Devin Booker.
so, yeah, I was about to say Booker's a really good one. Booker, Sabonis, like those guys. You're having a debate with those guys. And I think the way Hallie's playing right now and the lack of turnovers and him not being inept on the defensive end either, like he hasn't been amazing. They hide him on the defensive end, but he's good enough to get by that, like in terms of like on off splits, that, yeah, man, that, whew, that's a tough combo to have.
Yeah, I don't like having it.
Shout out to just a guy here. Beautiful lineup. That Nah pick in the last round there with the 41 fantasy points. Beautiful. Somehow sneaks Rudy by getting everything else right on this one. That J-Dub plus Hallie pairing. Beautiful to start things off there. Gets a little bit of a Chet fall and then puts the Nah on at the end. Beautiful. Well-constructed lineup there. We move on to baseball here. We got a shout out in the Twitterverse from our friend and member here, Chad Harris, aka Harris Chad, on the site. Beautifully well constructed lineup of all north of 33, I believe. ADPs. Cal Raleigh's was the highest, 31.5. So takes Rodon early, goes for a 3-2 build of some right-handed sticks that were in some good spots against left-handed pitchers there. Gets the Christian Walker, Jeremy Pena, and Jose Altuve. Fades the higher ADP Isak Paredes, and then gets the double dong Cal Raleigh in there alongside Julio coming to life last night as well. Beautifully well constructed lineup with some scroll the F down talent here.
Yeah, man, awesome team. Love to see a 3-2 get home. Yeah, didn't get any of the Astros paired with Seattle. But was loving the Astros yesterday. All those right-handers in the Crawford boxes against lefty Sears. Was loving that spot. And man, Carlos Rodon. SP
have to start talking.
SP what rest of season? Just not very serious. Just a question because I have a follow-up.
7, 8, something like that.
He's pretty cheap in the 7th inning stretch.
Yeah.
Rodon SP12 right now in the 7th inning stretch.
Yeah, checks out. Feels like a good price tag. It doesn't feel like we're out over our skis. Like he I mean, once upon a time, he was a very, very good prospect and talent and has had some very, very good years. Did he have a Cy Young year, one of those years, or adjacent to Cy Young, one of those Giants years?
I don't know if it was on the Giants. Wouldn't have been on like the. He's never. Rodon's never. Is AI fooling me? He was never a candidate.
What? All right. I thought he had one really good year mixed in there somewhere.
Well, okay, in 22 he finished 6th in the NL Cy Young.
Okay.
2.88 ERA, 237 strikeouts. Like, yeah, he probably could have won it. He's 3rd in strikeouts right now.
Wow.
Yeah, he's thrown, 72 innings, so he's up there, but like 90 Ks for him behind Scooball. And who's number 1, John?
In Ks? Just straight up raw Ks this season. Ahead of Scooball?
Yep.
Max Fried.
Mackenzie Gore.
Wow. That's fun.
SP11 in the 7th inning stretch.
Wow. Mackenzie Gore, that's aging like wine. Yeah, I'm looking at 2021 and 2022, those back-to-back years with the first one with Chicago, the next one with the Giants, Cy Young 5 and Cy Young 6 in terms of voting there. He was an all-star both of those 2 years. So, yeah, we got some lefty horses at the top of that Yankees rotation right now. All right, Nez, and then WNBA last night. Your boy got 30 in, chasing that. A little bit overlay at the end there. 2 of the GOATs on the site, T-Box and Sam Olsen, holding hands to take this one down. Beautifully well constructed teams here. Yeah, I didn't watch any hoops last year, or last night, sorry. But Hamby was the player you needed, and I had a soft fade in my 30 entries. I messed that one up.
Yeah, I think I had a pretty strong fade on Hamby as well. So gotta rerun the models on that one. But yeah, shout out T-Box, shout out Sam Olson. I'm getting there. I'm getting there with my WNBA knowledge. I watched a little bit on, I think Saturday it was. There
Okay.
was a Liberty game on. I was watching. So I'm trying to get my ball knowledge up because I need to beat these guys. I don't like losing to the Sam and T box. I don't like losing to those guys. So I need to figure this shit out.
It's gonna happen, dude. Your ball knowledge is coming. Your results in NBA speak for themselves. As soon as NBA, NHL, and stuff are gone, we're shifting our focus. We're getting in here, dude.
Yeah, and I don't want to like shift back to baseball right now, but Austin grabbed my attention because we just need to talk about Shane Smith. I think Shane Smith is legit.
Just in general, you were who were the two guys we were talking about? Shane Smith and who was the other one?
I think you brought up Berkey.
Yeah, Burke, and we were team Shane Smith in that instance there. Yeah, Shane Smith might be a bit of a big deal. Is he going right now? Is that why?
Yeah. I think he's blanking the Mets at the moment.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't do any of the daytime diamond. We had a meeting this morning, the two of us there with Pete, and then I played some late night puck last night. I needed a little bit of sleep in, and dog getting me up at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night didn't help either. All right, dude. That's all I got there. We can push on. I do have to bring up Nez, the NHL one that we did come up with. I know it's one slate ago. We did the silver bullet on the site there, and we lost a 1v1 of McDavid in this lineup, only scoring 9 points to Evan Bouchard. So you needed the double D lineup with Bouchard instead of McDavid. So Bouchard outscoring McDust was the downfall. I had to bring that to your attention.
Interesting. I can't believe Connor McDust would have cost you first place. That's wow. I need to take a second to sit back with that information.
Okay, well, please insert said information into your model, and then we will discuss in the future here as we rip some drafts. Nez, first things first, I was looking at the beautiful Unabated platform here to cook up a potential extendor for the community here. Unabated has the NBA projections up already. You did not like my previous one that I cooked up with them, so we're going to do this one together, my friend. Do you have a lean on tonight's ball game? Unabated showing some edges here in some Randall lower rebounds, some Ant higher rebounds plus assists, Hartenstein higher plus assists, some NA stuff showing a little bit of a boost. They got a better NA projection than the site. Anything here tantalizing for us to extend or for game 5 this evening?
Probably a lower on Julius Randle rebounds couldn't hurt.
All right. I'm there with that. I'm there. I was actually going through some of the matchup based stuff before we did the show and whatnot, and I was shocked to see he didn't perform well on Dort in game 3. I was shocked to see they used Dort a shit ton on Ant last game instead of Randall. They kind of just waved the Randall matchup, and there was like a little bit of switching. But like by far and away, I had the actual number here for a half second. By far and away, Dort was used for 7 minutes and 15 seconds on Ant. The next closest was Cason Wallace, who we talked about. Cason Wallace kind of like locking him down earlier in the series was like 2.5 minutes. So they really switched up primary defender on Ant to be Dort. Just found that interesting.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, definitely. Nick was alluding to in the chat last night, our resident Knicks fan there, that Hallie has been cooking Bridges. Yeah, oh shit, I have the matchup flipped. Sorry. Now I'm kind of getting out of my way. 7 minutes. 7 minutes of Bridges on Hallie last night, and Hallie had 10 field goal attempts against him, shot 40% from the field on him. So yeah, he was definitely getting cooked on the screen stuff once they got to that Bridges matchup. Just found it interesting.
Yeah. Tonight though, I always love Na, but I don't love that. He's kind of like as expensive as he's ever been,
Mm-hmm.
but it does seem like he is like something that's working for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it does seem maybe familiarity with SGA, maybe just switching up looks in terms of like not having Randall on the floor, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Randall's kind of like a big wild card discussion this evening in terms of like whether he closes or whether he returns to form from game one, or if he just falls by the wayside yet again. And judging by this lower on the rebounds, we kind of think the latter right now.
That's what it seems like.
Okay. Anything else you like there? Do you like the Hartenstein rebounds and assists that showing some edge? Do you like the Na points that's showing some edge?
I do like the Na points. Yeah.
Do you like points or points and assists? They're both showing similar edges, slight lean to the points.
Let's run points.
Okay. Nikhil Alexander Walker on the points. And then we need an OKC one. Do you like the Hartenstein one that is currently Unabated's biggest edge showing, or are you a little skittish on that?
I mean, I guess I don't understand like the boards and assists. I'm like, I just like why do we got to throw the assists in there? I'm like, I'm trying to wrap my head around that.
Okay, let's see here.
Because like, what's his assists like?
Probably a 0.5.
Like 1.5, yeah.
Yeah, 1.5 on the assist to the higher though. Rebounds are only 6.5, and then you get the 8.5 there. So yeah, at even, that's not bad math because he's got a slight juice to the higher, slight juice to the higher, and then you put them together and you get even for that extra 0.5, and then it's showing a pop. I think we just roll with it.
That one checks out. Now it checks out.
Okay. Let's go ahead, add that 80% extendor. That gets us to 10. Our max on the extendor is 30, unfortunately, because I was ready to bring the hammer and take Underdog out of business with this one, Nez.
Yep.
But we'll put that 30 max in there and drop it in the chat for all of our friends and family.
Let's go.
Cool. All right, let's use it as a jump off point there, Nez, to talk about this evening and some ADPs and some drafts. I will bring up the beautiful Unabated interface here for this one. The only potential injury concern between the two games was the carryover effects of Naismith and that ankle, but he played full last night and he looked great as the primary defender yet again on Brunson. Thought he had a really strong game, still knocking down those threes. So not much to be concerned about from an injury standpoint here. Definitely some rotationary changes with the Knicks in recent memory. We haven't spoken since last week. So Mitchell Robinson's been starting over Hart since then. Hart playing off the bench and fouled out last night. So just some stuff there. The two totals are closer than they were previously in this series for whatever reason. This is a 222.5 and a 220.5. When we were dealing with like game one and game two, the Pacers one was north of 12-ish points over the other game environment. So just thought I'd share that with people. Eye test is telling Troy that Towns seemed banged up there.
Oh yeah. I mean, he literally got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, he was doing the limp stuff there, but like in terms of playing, he's 100% going. Yeah, and then Thunder on home court looking to close out the series as 8-point favorites, and then Knicks on home court as 5-point favorites looking to extend the series there. Just macro thoughts overarching the slate.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to I guess like I don't really see the Knicks winning. You know, 5
The
point
series
favorites.
or the game?
The game,
Okay.
but like, who feels good about a team down 3-1?
Right.
It's hard to see that, but maybe they'll inspire one last bit of hope into the fan base with a win at home. But yeah, they're just playing ball that they're not used to playing.
Mhm.
Like they're going deeper than they've ever have in the middle of the playoffs because they have to because they're running so goddamn much. Um, and they're just like not really built for that. So it's just a tough matchup for the Knicks. They have to match Indy. It's not Indy playing to the Knicks. It's the Knicks playing to Indy, and it's not working.
Yeah,
So,
the
yeah.
things that stand out the most for me in that matchup is the ease with which the Pacers can get to the rim. Hallie being a very good example of it. Benny Math coming off the bench last night and having whatever it was, 20 quick ones and just going straight to the rack. I think he scored 20 in like 12 minutes and got to the free throw line like 10 like 10 attempts or something like that. So like the ease with which they're attacking the rim against Karl Anthony Towns, and then the fact that Towns had 2 quick ones and then can't protect the rim at all once he has those 2 quick ones on him. Yeah, they're really grasping at straws from a rotation standpoint. Like Precious mixed in, DeLon Wright mixed in for a rotation, Landry Shamet's mixed in for a rotation. Like the Knicks are just trying to do anything right now to keep this thing tight. And the nature of it is when Brunson and Cat are together on the floor, they're getting cooked on the defensive end, and then they can't hang enough pace because they don't run deep enough in their rotation to keep up tempo on the other side of the floor to go blow for blow from a scoring standpoint.
100%.
Yeah. Interesting point here in the chat from Nick here. Just like Tibbs coached basically as if Hart started last night, like even though he did not start. I think that probably has something to do with Towns getting the 2 quick ones and then getting out, 3.5 minutes into the ball game there. But there was, extended Hart run, like 36 minutes for him before fouling out kind of deal.
Yeah, the Hart looks awful right now. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think that's a good summary from Charlie. Like Knicks just look beat up and tired. Like, yeah, couldn't agree more.
Yeah, very simply.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is the byproduct of, running guys 40 minutes in games on a Thursday night in the middle of February.
Could be.
Could be.
Who's to say?
Anything else to say on the macro for the game environments, Nez? I think one thing that I would just mention is the closeout team and in both these series has less incentive to go all out. Just an evergreen reminder in the instance in which the Thunder find themselves down 10 with 6 minutes left or down 15 with 6 minutes left, that they're more apt in a 3-1 lead spot to wave the white flag than a 2-2 game or a team that's on the ropes. Not to imply that they would do that, but you could just see like Alex Caruso get cut a little bit in favor of Aaron Wiggins, who didn't play last game, to get a little extended burn because, okay, if Wiggins can spark a comeback here, that's great. If not, we're saving Caruso a little bit for game 6 if we're down 15 with 5 left. Whereas the T-Wolves, even if they're down 15, are going to keep full foot on the floor to make sure this series gets another game.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good alpha for drafting. Not that I think any of these teams are going to roll over, but we see it. It wouldn't be the first time there was a blowout in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah. Turn me up with a good point in the chat. Rick Carlisle's really, really good. Yeah, that we've seen that back-to-back postseasons here, and the adjustments in which he's made with like on-ball defenders and stuff, like the Naismith stuff on Brunson, opposed to the Nembhard stuff of last year. Yeah, some good, smart adjustments out there. Emwald with a really good point here in the chat that it's crazy to not play DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet all of February or March, but then get real minutes in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. Yeah, Nez, let's jump over to the ADP here, or the projected points rather. What is going on? There we go. In terms of this, what I've been seeing in the lobbies thus far, although I've only done a couple this morning, is SGA 101 with a bullet, and he projects as such. Kind of like 10 points higher than Ant, maybe 8 points higher than Ant in some of the stuff that I'm looking at. And then it's kind of choose your own adventure. Some people are pulling up Hallie because they really believe what we saw last game. Some people are going the Karl Anthony Towns route. Some people are going Ant in a must win. So I think it's a very interesting conversation. What happens with these next kind of 6 picks, and what have you been doing with them?
Yeah, I've been kind of at a crossroads as far as like what I want to do, because I had a pretty soft Hallie fade last game, so that wasn't fun. And he's going to go more often than not today, because he just put up 80 fucking fantasy points. Now, I am really thinking about, yes, I'm trying to think about like range of outcomes here. Like, yes, I do. Like, I don't have faith in the Knicks, but man, like you said, there's these teams that can just like, wait it out if things don't go their way. And like, I'm really worried about like a blowout. I don't know why. I got like, I in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, man, what if things just go way wrong for the Pacers? And it's just like, see a Hallie, and it's like a 20 fantasy point Hallie game. He has like 8 points in the game. I mean, I know that's just like me like taking a hit out of the Coke can here and like giving you my thoughts, but like I do think that there's something to that, and it's not like the Knicks are favored by like 1.5. They are favored by 5. It's not a small spread. So I don't think I'm going to take Hallie 2. I think I am mostly Ant 2.
Cool. Here. Yeah, so even though you think through that narrative, you would still prefer Ant from the other game environment than making a stand on one of the Knicks guys?
I mean, if you put Brunson 2, I don't think I would do Cat 2.
Okay.
If you put Brunson or Cat 2, you're going to end up with like 60%.
Yeah, I mean, it makes the most desirable draft slot today, in my estimation, the 103. Because the 103, you catch one of these guys, you catch another one on the way back, and then you open the door for a falling player on the other side.
Yeah, that's definitely where I would like to be.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I think that's good macro. We don't necessarily have to definitively rank out how you feel about this and whatever, but do you have a lean between the Cat versus Brunson stuff?
I mean, I'm Brunson, man. I'm team Brunson. Yeah, I mean, I'm just like not a fan of how Cat's been playing. And I know he's at, there's some things going on here with all that, and plus he kind of got banged up at the end of that game too. I think he's gonna play, but like, I don't know. I mean, just to add that to, if you're tie breaking, I would throw that in there. And I mean, it's Brunson at home, man. Brunson gets superpowers in MSG, so team Brunson.
Damn straight. Okay, cool. I think it's a very interesting question. The J-Dub versus Hallie versus how you think the game's going to play out, that sort of deal. I do like the thought on like Hallie could be the second best play on the slate, or even the best play on the slate, or also given the nature of the series, them going on the road, them being dogs on the road and being up 3-1, that he gets 28 minutes and they just move on to game 6 after losing by 12. So like, I do like the variability and the thought process associated with that. Does that lead you to taking J-Dub over Hallie, or are you kind of scared for the same thing on the OKC front, that they could just be like, you know what, we're down 15 with 5 left, out come the starters, let's move on to game 6?
Yeah, I mean, the irony in my Hallie, scaredness is, I mean, I think the Thunder are bigger favorites, and they could just maul as we've seen them do. I mean, they just won and they got outplayed in every facet, and they won the game on the road. So like, yeah, I'll have J-Dub 4 today or
Okay.
5
Yeah.
behind Hallie, I think.
The stock potential of J-Dub right now, coupled with the aggression on the offensive end and the way he's knocking down the three right now, is so fun to watch as a complementary piece to SGA.
Yeah, man, he was getting some criticism
Yeah.
because he had like one down game.
Yeah.
He's a really good player, man.
Mhm.
I love J-Dub, and I like whenever J-Dub has to play a lot because
Mhm.
he really shows out for fantasy wise. Like he really can do it all. And yeah, shout out J-Dub, man. I'd like to have a lot of him tonight.
All right, here comes the biggest decision point on the slate with this kind of next tier and stuff. Nez, I think the hashtag models are going to tell you to play Chet next, and then we're going to have the conversation about where does Julius Randle fit in all of this, because the first 4 games of these contests, the first 4 games of these 2-game contests or whatever, we were accustomed to taking Julius Randle at like 7 as like the stopgap, or if people were flipping the board, 3, 4, etc. Especially after game 1, moving into game 2, people were taking him at like the 4-5 turn over and over again there and pushing him over some of these other guys. Now that we've seen 3 bad Randle games in a row, we've seen him not close in 2 out of those 3 and have some challenges on the defensive end or on the offensive end versus some of these defensive switches that OKC's throwing at him. Is there leave the light on for Randle bounce back tonight, and we're getting a generational ADP value today based on the site?
Yeah, I mean he's going to get so discounted, like you said, in these lobbies. Nobody's going to want to take him, and I can't really blame him. I mean, it's been an awful series for Julius Randle outside of games 1 and 3 there, but yeah, I don't want to take him, but like who am I taking over Randle? Like Miles Turner for sure, and I would think about Randle versus OG. I would definitely have
Yeah.
to think about it because like Randle's been pulled out of the rotation. Nah has played really well. It does not look good for my man Julius Randle.
Yeah, only 2 points with the first rotation there. Last time out, 3 turnovers in that span in his first kind of like 10 minutes of run there. And then did not play the last 8 minutes and 7 seconds of the ball game until he came in for the dreaded up 3 fouling fest that led the size be put back in the ball game for rebounding purposes on the free throws there. That was the only time he subbed back in the last 8 minutes. So yeah, I don't know, man. Is this team better without him on the floor? Like, are they a better basketball team with Na playing? Na effectively played from the 7-minute mark of the third quarter and the entire rest of the game. Are they a better basketball team doing that right now?
And kind of hard to argue otherwise, but like I think in general, no.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was the right decision last game.
Yeah. It's crazy to just see the 2 players that got traded for one another, both the warts of them rise in this time of the year. You know? Like Randall playing himself basically off the court. Cat like getting the 2 quick ones, inability to protect the rim. And these were the knocks on both these players for so long. And now we're in the biggest spots for their teams, Eastern and Western Conference Finals, and exactly what we've all said for so long as to like why we don't love these guys is coming to fruition. It's crazy.
I know, and I thought both of their setups were pretty positive for their like what their drawbacks were. I thought they were set up in pretty good situations, both those guys. But Yeah, they're falling apart right now.
The Minnesota side, it can all be forgotten if Dante just gets hot from 3 one of these games and just drops like 28 off the bench.
Yeah, that's kind of what they need.
Yeah. In a big way. They just need some of those knockdown threes. I mean, he had 21 last game, so I mean and he did close. So he's played decent comparative to the previous couple games in the series. But yeah. Nez, let's talk about kind of like this next pocket. The Knicks wings is kind of like an evergreen discussion there. Bridges has been doing the on-ball defending of Hallie. Can't win through a screen to save his life. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts here? Is OG your favorite of this bracket?
Like
Knicks
not
wings.
including Chet.
Yeah, Knicks wings. Just Knicks wings.
Oh yeah. OG Mikhail Hart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here's another way that it could break. Connolly's got to start doing a little something more too offensively to help.
I mean, if you need anything from Conley, just forget it.
Yeah. Their lineups in terms of like splits and stuff, like their starting lineups, they look good when Connolly's out there. The problem is he just doesn't contribute enough, like from a fantasy standpoint for us.
Yeah, he's just out of the question for me.
Okay. All right, Nez, let's talk about kind of like the next tier of these guys. OG is your favorite of the bunch. Hart playing off the bench, but still playing, 36 minutes before fouling out. Bridges has the tough defensive assignment, but that leads to the other side of the end getting a lot of Hallie, and he took advantage of that matchup earlier in the series. Yeah, just thoughts on kind of that tier with the Jaden McDaniels game. Naismith just consistently really good on ball and knocking down threes. Just thoughts through this whole kind of like next big clump.
Yeah, I mean, you can throw Randall in there too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
this is where Randall is being thought about. And I'll take McDaniels over Randall for tonight.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing better. And and McDaniels is just like so opposite of Randall, where he just, he's the playoff riser. He's always stepped up for Minnesota in these big spots. So I'll definitely take McDaniels. Like, I'll have McDaniels probably behind OG, to be quite honest.
Okay. In terms of unabated, Randall projects the best out of. There's just a clump of like the 4 of them in a row. Obviously, not including tomorrow night's game because it's just tonight's game. But there's a little clump of Randall, McDaniels, Gobert, and Reed, and they're all separated by 7 fantasy points. Reed being the bottom of that tier, Randall being the top of that tier, and then Jaden McDaniels kind of being right in the middle with like the 26 and a bit. So only a couple fantasy points below. Got to pause the show 1 second here. Our guy Harris Chad took down the MLB contest last night and rolls on through to donate 10 Badge Bros memberships. I will make good on those with a members only show later in the week here, either tomorrow or Friday. Probably be football related. But yes, appreciate you so much, man. Love that. Always lurking. Don't get to chat that much because of work, but appreciate all you guys do for this community. Love it, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. We'll leave that up on the screen for a minute there.
Yeah, shout out Chad, man. What a goat for that. Thank you, brother.
Believe second win of the season already. Had one earlier too.
Yeah, he's big time.
All right, Nez, let's talk about the scrolls and this tier kind of deal. So I guess Naz Reid from a projection standpoint, because he's so close to Gobert. How have you been playing this? Are you pushing anyone who I do not have on the screen above this tier?
I mean, Nembhard for sure.
Okay. So he's still in the conversation there.
Yeah. Yeah, I would put probably Gobert pretty low here. I mean, I would have to think about Gobert versus Naz Reid.
Okay.
Gobert's outscored him, but saw a little bit of the Naz Reid that we needed to see. But I just think ceiling wise, I like Naz Reid's ceiling more. And then
Naz Reid looks
good.
Naz Reid looks a little lost at times with the ball in his hands at the top of the arc there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is such like a tough range. Like I feel very indifferent about most of these guys. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, it is. It is it's a tough, like, everyone in this bracket after, especially after Hart, is all going to project within like 3 fantasy points of one another, and like you just have to find a narrative as to why you like one of them on a given night, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I don't really have any sort of like groundbreaking analysis
Yeah.
on that range. It's pretty gross.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I'll just have to try to be mindful of my combos mostly, and just try not to have Neesmith on all my SGA teams or something like that.
Sure. Yeah. No, that checks out for sure. Um, yeah, then the kind of next big grouping here is like the Mitchell Robinson as part of the starting lineup, kind of as like a 6th round guy. Caruso tends to go ahead of him almost every single time that I saw there, Nez. But yeah, I don't know. Like Caruso, if I was gonna pinpoint one dude whose minutes get cut tonight, for any reason, whether it's blowout run, whether it's they just want to save him a little bit in a 3-1 series lead, something like that, I would pinpoint Caruso as the guy that you'd be trying to, quote unquote rest. But I don't think it's necessary because the finals don't start for another week, even if they closed out tonight, and that won't change. So yeah, I'm not putting too much onus in that. I was just kind of thinking like, where does the push pull minutes come for someone else to mix in, like, Kendrick Williams to get a little bit more burn, or for Isaiah Joe to get a little bit more burn, or Jalen with a Y, like that sort of thing. I think it's probably Caruso and Wallace who are the most volatile, and then Joe Wiggins or one of the other guys enter in.
Yeah, no, I'm with you that Caruso is very volatile, and yeah, I don't think I'm going to have a lot of Caruso because I'm definitely taking Mitchell Robinson over him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like that. The Mitch Rob stuff feels a little bit safer. They need rim protection in a big way, man. They just can't let them get to the rack over and over and over again. There. Do you prefer Dante or Hartenstein, any of these guys, over Caruso and Mitch Rob?
Dante for sure
Mm-hmm.
over both those guys.
Okay.
Um, but let's see here. Yeah, Hartenstein's an interesting one, man. He just hasn't like if you've had him in a lineup, he's been hurting you. So like I don't know how that changes tonight. Like I can't really see how like Hartenstein's result, like his output gets changed in any sort of meaningful fashion tonight for any reason. So like I'm really out on Hartenstein, but his projection also took like a huge hit. He used to be like 100% drafted guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think it's very, very up in the air and maybe borderline like 50-50 drafted guy
Okay.
tonight. So, you know, day late, dollar short on the Hartenstein fade.
Okay. Yeah, I think the way in which his minutes tick up is if they get away from the Reed Gobert stuff and they do more of the Randall Gobert stuff, and then they counter with Hartenstein Chet stuff.
Mm.
That would be the push pull. So, Gobert lineups that then play Hartenstein, or like that sort of combination.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah, Jay alluding to just not a Hartenstein series, unfortunately. Like their fastball is having one big with Chet at the 5. I agree with that for sure. That has
Yeah.
been a big strength of OKC. We talked about it early in the series, how like them playing small with Chet at the 5 was beneficial to them, juxtaposed to Minnesota. Minnesota needs to try and get the big of Rudy out there and doing more. All right, Nez. Next grouping of Scroll the F Downs. Nikhil Alexander Walker is actually projecting above Dante in the unabated stuff by fractions of fantasy points. They're beside one another there. And then Case and Wallace is behind there. Connolly a little bit behind as well. And then we got some Scroll the F Downs here, like Benny Math, what he did in the 12 minutes Tony Bradley got some burn last game. Deuce, if you want small scoring, TJ's always going to play his 15 minutes. And if he balls out from a rate standpoint, can get you 25. But 25 hasn't been winning you slates from the last round. Terrence Shannon's been scoring, very quickly in limited minutes there. Yeah. Anyone that I'm listing interest you in any way?
Maybe like your boy TJ is always interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing Mike Conley. It's really for me like in the last round, Kaysen, Nah, Caruso if he's still there. Yeah, and then I guess if I had to, if Hartenstein was there, pick 24, I'd probably just do him.
Okay, you like Hartenstein or Dort tonight?
Hartenstein, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's hop in draft here, see what it looks like. If you guys are just joining up, do me a favor. I don't pander to the crowd enough out here, but the likes, the clicks, the reshares, all that fun stuff does feed our dogs. And now baby in Mellow there, Nez's baby, not our baby, but yeah. But please and thank you. If you do feel so inclined, follow us on the old X machine as well there. Yeah, our influence on the games here and the phrases and the terminology and the verbiage, the vernacular in which we have been spitting for years here, Nez, has become commonplace in the daily and best ball streets. It's been everyone's using it now, yet our outreach does not match that in terms of subs.
I know, man. We run a thankless operation here. It's tough. It's tough. We don't ask for much. We just put out the content, give people the verbiage. I mean, what's the biggest? What do you think is the biggest thing? Let's do a little circle jerk. What's the biggest thing that we've crafted that people use day to day as we draft SGA 101?
The scroll the F down. The redacted in reference to anything that's not Underdog. The GMGM's pretty good. People just refer to their lineups that are nice as GMGMs now.
I'm pretty proud of Push the Plane.
Push the Plane. Yeah, that's a movement. Yeah. ADP being an artificial construct.
Yeah.
Flipping the board was always us.
Done a lot.
Yeah, there's some good ones out there. There's some good ones out there for sure. Never Hallie aging like milk.
Yep. Every now and then, Hallie.
Nick is in this draft with us. Towns falls to 7 here. Re-spooked pairing up the Pacers guys together. I think Chet would be one of these picks for me, and then we can kind of take whoever. But who do you like?
Definitely Chet.
Should we flip the board a little bit and put Randall here?
There's just going to be teams that have Randall 4 or 5, don't you think?
That's a long ways to fall. I don't think Randall will fall to 16. Maybe.
You could do that or Jade McDaniels for a flip.
All right, let's do McDaniels and flip it. Sure. If you like McDaniels a little bit more than Randall tonight, why not?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not getting lost in the sauce of the box score, but the minutes are safer for McDaniels for sure, as long as he stays out of foul trouble. And but like, yeah, the box score's popping because he was just pure as all hell from 3 last game.
I mean, he's a riser, man. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Nick St. Randall has fallen that far, so there you go. It truly is a choose your own adventure. It's kind of like that tipping point in the series where you can make this narrative for anyone's ADP being anywhere outside of like the top 5 and 1 in particular.
Yeah, one has always been locked and loaded. Um, yeah, I thought for sure SGA J Dub was going to be what you needed last slate, but it's always that Pacers Knicks games always fucking things up.
Yeah, especially after last game was like what 128, 125 or something like that in terms of the OKC one. Like that was the highest scoring game of the series or highest scoring game in the series thus far. And then the Pacers still come out and drop 130. Like it's just like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Josh Hart is falling here, Nez. We could take Josh Hart. Might be a little unique there, and then we could do whatever we want. I mean, I'm down to go flipping again.
Yeah, we got to do Hart.
Yeah, Hart for sure. Nas Reed's fine with me. Like it pairs decent with the McDaniel stuff, and then we can scroll for our last one, or we can pull somebody else up. I don't love doing Caruso with this build. Maybe Nemhard feels fine.
I could do Nemhard.
Yeah, you like Nemhard more than Nas Reed?
I'm just trying to shake things up.
All right, let's do Nas Reed and then shakes things up with the last one then.
Okay.
Because I prefer Nas Reed to Nemhard by like a decent margin, I think.
Okay.
Nemhard just hasn't been getting his offensively in like any regard. Like all the stuff that we saw last year with him in this Knicks series has kind of pivoted and become Naismith this year.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Like touch time's down. He's not shooting as many threes. He doesn't have the primary on-ball defensive assignment, so the stocks are down, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, good call.
I thought we might see a little bit of a flipping last night, just knowing that Naismith's ankle was banged up, and maybe they'd try a little something different or try and get him a little bit of rest on the on-ball, but like dude's just a dog and played through it all.
Definitely a dog.
Na goes there at 21. I like that flipping of the board there. His projection much closer to that area than his current ADP on the site. So Na going at 21 checks out to me. Hartenstein goes at 22. And we're going to have some decisions here. Caruso goes in front of us. Cason Wallace would probably be like the chalk projection pick here. But I'm happy to do anything.
Yeah, I would probably vote for Cason.
Yeah, you think Cason's in like kind of a tier of his own here?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you want to do like the Lou Dort legacy game, but he already had that for this series, so I think he's done.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, Cason looks like he's going to be a big time factor on their team next year.
Yeah, I'm curious what kind of like step forward he'll take offensively, you know? Because he doesn't necessarily have a bag. He just, really just needs to be open for a three and knock it down. But he does drive, like he's more of a drive. He's better, driving than pulling up and shooting. So, I mean, he's going to be a factor because he can, defend the hell out of the ball.
Yeah. His brother should be a factor next year too.
For the Hawks?
Yeah. Keaton. Keaton's had some fucking ceiling games, dude. That guy deserves some burn in this league. Appreciate you, Chris, rolling through. Just said definitely appreciate you guys a lot and love talking it through and seeing your perspectives alongside the chat there. And sometimes just very basic things and moving to harder stuff just helps see the big picture. Absolutely, bro. It helps us as players too. That's how the show started, was players helping players, So yeah, keep that train rolling together.
Of course, man. That's what it's all about.
Nez, I think that concludes basketball. We did a pick'em there. We did a draft there. Yeah, I think we got to dust off the puck model here and just dive in blindly into the streets and then do a little 5-game baseball slate and call her a day.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We got to defend our crown here, Nez. Both these series are 3-1 as well. There are some murmurings that Picard was back at practice there. And, Skinner's played very well in this series. I don't think he's coming back and taking the net, especially up when you're up 3-1. But there were some murmurings after he suited up for game 4 as the backup there. So just want to put that on everybody's radar. Some Carolina stuff tonight. Who was not at Morning State? Gloucestershire was not at Morning Skate, and somebody else. I will double check it was Chatfield. It was Chatfield who's not at Morning Skate. My bad. And Walker. Yeah, so it was the 2 defensemen. That's who it was. They look like they are not going to be suiting up this evening. So blue line a little thin for Carolina there. And then Hyman, dude. Hyman looks like he's going to have surgery and things are going to end his season there. Headed for surgery 4 hours ago, Zach Heinen. So we're going to see a shakeup on the McDavid line there going forward. Going to kill some of the bags for the community there for the Zamboni contest.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate, man. That's a bummer. I know he was, a very popular stack for those Zambonis.
He was it looked like an innocent play too. Like he kind of just like came across the blue line and then just caught like a stick across his wrist, but it didn't look like malicious, bad intended or anything like that. And just kind of like dropped his stick and went straight to the bench. And it was like, oh shit! Like you don't see a dude react like that for something that looked that soft. And
yeah, those are the scary ones.
All the Edmonton pieces run off there. Nez, I think we got to do a little Dallas narrative here. Dallas at home for game 5. Oof. What do you think?
I guess I don't really have a choice, but man, it does not feel good taking anybody other than Florida or Edmonton.
Yeah, that is the way things have been trending. Florida's been beating the brakes off of Carolina. Carolina able to sneak one out last time, but we could do Mikko, and then we could do a little Florida here with Tkachuk and see what happens.
Okay. I like it.
All right. Looking at the old daily face-off, let's see what some of these lineups could potentially look like this evening. Memory serves on the Dallas front. Mikko is most likely going to be playing alongside Roope Hintz and Jason Robertson. And there might be some overlap in power play with Robertson. Robertson had a nice snipe last night in the slot there. So, yeah.
How long's he been back for?
This series, I guess. So okay. 4 games. Yeah.
Too little, too late.
I love the camp reporting in here. Jalen Polk and Baker dropped consecutive passes today. Like, I love the fucking in shorts 7 aside, like, reporting. Dude, we got some ballers in the chat. Son J. Rich, who's won a slate this year, grew up playing AAU ball with Keaton. Woo. Woo. Who's a hooper?
Oh, J. Rich. Richardson or in Texas native?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think we got to take Ottinger here so we don't get stacked against. So that would be one pick. And then I will ask you if we want to go the defenseman route on Dallas or if we want to go the Jason Robertson route on Dallas.
There's a lot of Florida pieces available that are nice, right? I mean, Verhaeghe, Bennett are available. I mean,
who do you prefer, Verhaeghe or Bennett?
Who's? I mean, are we gonna get like fucked out of center if we don't take Bennett?
They both play alongside. No, let's do it. Okay, because we could also fall back on Hintz. Has Hintz gone yet? Oh no, Hintz is gone.
Yeah, so we want center.
Yeah, positional awareness from Nez there that we take Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett, one of the greatest career arcs, dude. Couldn't do a pull-up in the combine. Not one pull-up. And he was like a beanpole, man. He was like 145 pounds, I swear. Like 150. And he couldn't do a pull-up. And he still goes 101. Kind of flames out and then moves on to Florida. And then becomes like a sandpaper dude. like thickens out, becomes Nails, becomes like grows a big ass beard, becomes a little bit of a fighter, and then kind of comes full circle all the way back to being like now a well-rounded stud player who's like nails and scores. It's pretty sick.
Who needs back muscles for hockey, bro?
You'd
When
be
do you
surprised.
need to do a pull up in hockey?
Yeah, I don't when I'm putting the team on my back, bro.
That's like people caring about. This is a direct shot at you. Caring about Kevin Durant's bench press. Like, who fucking like when do you need to bench 225 in an
Hey.
NBA basketball game?
This is why everyone says Anais Smith was the best wide receiver on the Eagles last year. Too deep a callback for even Nez?
They do say that? I'm just trying to recall who says it.
Nobody said it. But remember when we were scrolling the F down and taking him because he was the bench press winner?
I forgot it was because of the bench press, but I do remember taking him.
Yeah. All right, Nez. I think we should take one of these Dallas defensemen. I'd like to scroll to Miro, the lower of the two, and then we round out this lineup however you see fit. If you want to do a one-off, if you want to do another Florida piece like Verhaeghe, like we could just do the line, or we could
Seguin?
Tyler Seguin?
What do you think about Seguin?
I think I'm fine with it. He doesn't have like line correlation because he's going to play with like Duchesne and stuff.
Yeah, let's do Carter then.
Okay, let's do Carter Verhaeghe. We'll do the full Florida second line with a little bit of power play overlap, and then Miro to Mikko, the Finnish studs on the power play there. Ottinger, the Otter, gets a shutout against Edmonton to prolong that series, and we take home all the cheddar.
Heiskanen. Love that name.
Such a good
Great name.
Oh, there you go. Sanjay Rich, Dallas all the way, SMU alum, if memory serves, a law school grad. Love it.
Yeah, that's right. SMU. Okay, now it's all coming back to me. There's a lot of community members, so I forget about the storylines from J Rich, but nice area, SMU. Good for you.
All right, Nez, let's move on there. We have serviced the NBA bros and we have serviced the puck bros. It is time to service the MLB bros with a 5-game baseball slate here. Actually, I'm going to go back to the beautiful unabated interface for us to check this one out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, cool. Weather is looking fine for this slate. I think it's interesting to note that the Chicago Cubs, who looked like they were in really good spots the last 2 days against the Rockies, got knocked down by the wind in their own ballpark. Just evergreen reminder that the Wrigley wind can move both ways. PCA homer was knocked down the other night from there, but today looking a little bit better. It's going to be a little bit cooler. I mean, nothing on this slate is necessarily popping. Like Rangers are inside. Angel Stadium obviously always plays decent, and their bullpen's awful. So you're going to get some good implied run totals for the Yankees on this slate, and it's almost 69, 70 degrees there. It's beautiful out here. Seattle is going to have the roof open almost undoubtedly this evening, Nez. It's probably, what is it? It's 22, it's 73 degrees in Vancouver right now. So I imagine Seattle is probably quite similar there, and we'll have the roof open this evening. But nothing crazy to talk about on the weather front unless you have some nuggets that I do not.
Nope.
Okay, cool. Did I scroll too far? Yeah, I scrolled too far. There's one game I'm missing on the slate there, which makes it start a little bit earlier there, and that's Royals and Reds. And
it's still a later start time than usual for baseball, but correct, you were missing that, but that game's on the slate. Yeah.
Weather looking a little bit better there than it has in the last couple days. It was a little iffy on the Roth scale. Looks like it should be okay today in that same 70 degrees area, a little bit of wind blowing in there. Ballpark Pal has the run totals in that one at 4.3 and 3.58. Nothing jumping off the sheet outside of the aforementioned Yankees and Rangers both looking okay. Rangers are most likely going to get Corey Seager back today in the middle of that lineup. Would have put him on the cover, but when I made the cover yesterday, Nez, I thought Eric Lauer was pitching, and I thought it was going to be lefty-lefty, so I put Rake Berger on there. And by the looks of it, Eric Lauer's not going to start this ball game now, so the handedness advantage is going to swing by way of the lefties for the Rangers, making Corey Seager, he'd be a fine pick regardless, but making him look a little bit better and Jake Berger look a little less so. But yeah, just thoughts on the macro of the slate that I have laid out.
Paxton Schultz on the mound for Toronto.
Yeah, he has yet to go more than 4 innings in a ball game, and that was really early in the season. He served as an opener for 2 games. Technically, he started 4 games, but he was an opener for 2 of them. So I was looking at it earlier. Don't know a ton about him. Caper 9 looked okay, but that's only in 10 innings of Major League Baseball this year. Kind of like a little bit older, not a prospect, but like a little bit older call-up guy because he's like 27 or 28.
Yeah, no interest for me on him, but the Rangers haven't been all that awesome this season, so it's not like I'm interested in the Rangers today because they're facing this guy. But yeah, in general, pitching, nothing standing out necessarily. Hunter Green, last 2 starts. His last start was his first one since he was activated off the IL. Because against the Cubs, little tough there for him, but only went 83 pitches. Maybe you can expect him to get more pitches under his belt today, because I'd imagine that he's not going to get knocked out of the game via run total against KC in that park, against that offense. So he's SP1, but I don't think he's necessarily like have to have it SP1.
Okay.
And by SP1, I'm talking ADP, of course, because I think I like Matthew Boyd more against this Rockies team that is just really, really bad. And Boyd's been going nice, man. Little resurgent season for Matthew Boyd. Got knocked around in Cincy the last time out, but that's Cincy. So that park is you're gonna have those type of starts. But other than that, man, he's looked awesome. 8 and 7 Ks the last 3 games if you discount that red start. So he is my SP1 today, I think.
Okay, cool. Yeah, going obviously against that aforementioned Rockies lineup, who strikes out a lot. They do have a lot of righties in that lineup, though, for the Rockies, which makes me like a little less bullish on Boyd. I do love the strikeout rate that Hunter Green offers, highest on the slate, 32.6%, juxtaposed to Matthew Boyd's as 23.7. But maybe some of that is mitigated by the fact that he plays the Rockies here, or it's not mitigated, rises. I don't know, shitty word. It's boosted when he faces the Rockies. So if we're doing a projection, we could project north of his season average of the 23 there. Yeah, so SP1 just like in a vacuum, or like SP1 relative to ADP?
In a vacuum, I think.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll be on the other side of that equation with Hunter Green as my SP1. Kansas City just hasn't been all that great this year, and there's like some big swing and miss in the middle of their lineup right now from guys who used to have big power profiles who no longer do. Obviously, Park plays down for power too. It plays up for like runs, but down for power this time of year. I think the most interesting decision is that next grouping here with George Kirby. George Kirby got tagged his first time back from his rehab assignment there. He had only thrown 68 pitches. He topped out at 68 pitches in his rehab assignment, then only threw 72. Didn't even make it 4 innings against the Astros there, gave up 5 runs in that one. What are you doing with George Kirby and kind of like this big next tier?
Yeah, I'm not trying to draft George Kirby. That's for sure. Got to wait to see it. good park to pitch in, of course, but Nationals against righties is it's tough. It's tough for the pitcher in that matchup. You've got obviously really strong left-handers for Washington, who I like a lot, even though they're in Seattle. But I like the left-handers today, and don't like Kirby going up against them.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no lineup yet, but anticipating almost an entire left-handed and switch hitting lineup, which is a tough matchup for Kirby there. Obviously, Washington has one of the lower implied run totals on the slate because of the kind of pitcher that George Kirby has been in the past there. But yeah, some weird circumstances here where he's yet to throw over 72 pitches in a real life ball game this season. And then all those lefties, as you were alluding to, I'm counting. Yeah, looks like 9 because Ruiz is a switch hitter. Garcia will be in there. Yeah, Josh Bell will be in there. Alex Call most likely won't, which means like Hassel and those guys will be in there in the outfield. So, yeah, that's a tough draw for him, even though the park is beneficial to the pitching side of things. Yeah, what else are you doing with the next kind of like grouping and stuff then, Nez?
I think, I'm still a Tyler Mahle truther. The strikeouts are just like not in a good spot against Toronto, so he's just like my break glass pitcher today.
Okay.
If I have to take him, where I don't think he's going to get blown up, but certainly not a ceiling pitcher. Just because like I think Kikuchi, man, could just get rocked. I'm not loving anybody against the Yankees right now. Even in in Anaheim, but that we both know it's not necessarily a pitcher's park. It's neutral more or less, but yeah, don't love Kikuchi today. So I'm trying to get to like Hunter Green, Boyd, thinking about Clark Schmidt, probably liking Clark Schmidt more than Kirby today. And man, is it too results oriented to think that Noah Cameron could be good?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know a shit ton about Noah Cameron, but he's been pitching very well. Yeah, 8 Ks in his last time out. He's gone greater than 6 1/3 in all 3 of his starts this year. 2 in the most recent memory. 1 was earlier in the season. Doing it on low pitch counts too, like 81, 82, which kind of scary that they cap him there at like third trip through the lineup, only 80 pitches. Like maybe that lowers his potential ceiling, but yeah, I don't know. Talk me through what appeals to you about him.
I mean, good park to pitch in. You're throwing lefty against Ellie De La Cruz. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I mean, the results look good. No denying that. The results look good. He's just your classic, just like lefty thumber that, is not blowing anybody away. He's not Mackenzie Gore. He's not Carlos Rodon, but he's he's a lefty that is getting soft contact and making his way through the lineup without giving up too many runs. I don't know that the Reds are a tough customer for him going up, against a lefty like him. So I think he's absolutely fine if you got to take him, as your last pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of gets my like juices flowing to do like a Hayes Stevenson steer or like McLean at the bottom of the lineup wrap around or something with the righties in that. But it does feel like a spot that you can play both sides for sure, where you can go lefty thumber, break glass in case of emergency, contrarian arm angle, or you can go, let's stack some lefty killers on the other side, which we know they have in Hayes, Stevenson, and Steer.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. There are some dangerous righties with Hayes and Steer specifically, who I like a lot. Yeah, I would definitely, if you have time, mix those guys in. But I'm more or less thinking that this plays to its run total of 7.5 today.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that game's kind of like a little bit more of the stay away variety. Anyone else you want to mention here, Nez?
No, not necessarily. It's not a super deep pitching slate. So yeah, but interesting. That's really interesting. Jacob Wilson just hit a home run. Huh.
That's fucking crazy. He's already surpassed his total by 1 billion. What's that? Number 6, 7?
No, number 7. Huh.
Fucking A, man.
Huh. Interesting.
If he goes 2020, was he a good pick?
Johnny's a good pick now. Like you just
Is Soderstrom still outscoring him?
not now.
Not now.
Not now.
Are you just saying that?
No, not after that home run, and he already had 10 points before that.
Oh, not on the slate. I mean on the season.
That's what I mean. No, not after that.
Wow. We should have had a like a Shea Bangs versus Wilson versus Soderstrom bet.
I made my bet with 30% Jacob Wilson in the dinger.
I see. I'm gonna die on the hill that I still think it's not good. Like
you're
30%.
You're just
anyone back
objectively wrong, which is like the most frustrating part. Like you should be taking the L.
No. Soderstrom 462, Jacob Wilson 458. Cumulative scoring right now. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's still having any one isolated player at that percentage back there in terms of stack was kind of like my evergreen, but I'm shocked that he's contributed this much from a power standpoint thus far.
Jacob Wilson, 7% drafted, probably all by me and viewers of this show. 20% for Soderstrom. That's a significant difference.
Yeah, but it'll only matter in the last week, or in the playoffs. So, yeah, that's definitely a good difference. That's definitely a good difference.
You can't talk your way out of that one.
No, I can talk my way out of that. Don't worry, I can talk my way out of anything here, Nez. But
just very, very wrong. It's okay.
Let's move on to the stacks today. Ones that you're interested in, ones that you're fading. I mean, there's only 10 teams to stack. And there's only 10 teams to stack, and there's only 5 games on the slate. And everyone's going to be gravitating towards Cubs, Yankees, and Mariners by the looks of it. Yeah, just kind of favorite of the bunch and ones that you'll be looking to play.
I mean, Yankees for sure. I think people are going to not necessarily stack Judge a lot because it's lefty on lefty. I'm just like don't really care about that very much, you know? I mean, Goldschmidt, obvious, like good stack option. Give me Belly. I'll take Trent Grisham. I'll take Jason Dominguez if he's starting, and I think he will because he sat yesterday. Like I just like don't. I'm trying not to care too much about the lefty here with Kikuchi, just because I just think the ceiling for the Yankees in this spot is big time.
Dominguez is a good shout because he sat yesterday and he's a switch hitter. So he's going to be in there 100% today and he'll probably hit 5th. So Dominguez is a good one.
Yeah. Man, I wish the Cubs weren't so expensive, but today is the day to take the Cubs. The last 2 days was not definitively. But yeah, the Cubs look really, really, really good now that they are not having the wind in their face. Just a terrible team in every facet with Colorado. Terrible starting, pitching. Get to their bullpen. Congratulations. Like, there's just not a whole lot to say about that. I think, though, you were talking about maybe taking those righties or Colorado, or you just like called out the righties for Colorado. If you get to the Cubs bullpen, then that's a problem. So I will say that there is a chance that sneaky Rockies on a small slate where they're still not going to be drafted at the percentage that, you know, optimally they should be.
Yeah.
Just to immediately get to the sneakiest of sneaky plays. That's one of them if they can get to Matthew Boyd, because the Cubs bullpen is really bad.
Yeah, the nice thing about stacking the righties too is if you get like their power profiles, right? So if you get a Tovar home run, a Goodman home run, and a Jordan Beck home run, or a Doyle home run, and you do like a little 3-man with like this contrarian 3-man and get Boyd out of the game, like it is good double leverage on shorter slates. That double leverage doesn't mean as much on other slates, but this looks like one of those slates that it could with only 5 games on it, you know?
Right.
Yeah, this is fun. Jordan really made it, or Seager really made it back before Jordan. Holy fuck. That's crazy. Now that you think about that, that's a good point. Um, Favorite stack, Nez? You like Cubs as your favorite?
Oh yeah, I mean in a vacuum Cubs, but they're
Yeah.
so fucking expensive that it's not super feasible
Mm-hmm.
to get all those guys stacked up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it sounds weird, but like both sides of that Seattle and Washington game in Seattle, I really like.
Yeah, it checks out. I'm good with that. Yeah, I think Cubs and Yankees are like the chalk. I think Rangers, I'm in agreement with the field. Like that lineup looks a lot better once they get Seager in there. And yeah, doing some Rangers stuff. I'm ready to buy back in a little bit. I'll probably play both sides of Rangers Blue Jays. I will play both sides. I'm going to play both sides of a lot, to be honest, now that I'm looking at it like this. I think Reds Royals is like my number one stay away game, but I still want righties, contrarian righty Reds as a stack. So yeah, I'm going to be playing a little bit of everyone, but that's kind of to be expected on 5 gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a good one. Sawdog Sports going. He's going to the Cubs gang, but he might stack Rockies because he's a Sox fan.
There you go.
I respect that. I had what was the other lineup note? Carson Kelly may or may not. He's got the Q tag. May or may not be back for the Cubs today. So Reese McGuire had a 2 home run game in his, I guess it was first start for the Cubs there a couple days ago. So he might be in there. I think they also got Matt Shaw back up. I don't know if he's in the player pool. Yes, he is. There he is. He's still got an ADP. There you go. Yeah. So Matt Shaw's been back up for a bit there. So yeah, Matt Shaw was a guy that I was just like looking at like, oh shit, didn't realize that he was back kind of deal. Yeah. Anything else in terms of chalk stacks?
No, I think on the small slate, we kind of covered most of the chalky spots there.
Favorite contrarian stack?
I gotta get more Rangers, I think.
Okay. Favorite contrarian stack or contrarian one-off?
The Rockies, I think is like probably my answer.
Yeah, Rockies and Reds righties, I think, for me.
Yeah. And then for some one-offs, definitely like Rowdy against the right-handed Trevor Williams.
Trevor Williams struggled with left-handed power this year too.
What's that?
Trevor Williams has struggled with left-handed power as well. Like I think Matt Olson got him twice. I mean, Matt Olson's a different beast than Rowdy Tellez, but Matt Olson got him twice, 2 starts ago or something like that. So yeah, he's struggled a bit with left-handed power. So I like that show.
Yeah, his WOBA against lefties is massive.
Yeah, Jorge Polanco, JP Crawford, and Rowdy Tellez as like a contrarian 3-man. Put Cal Raleigh in there if you want it.
Yeah, because like he's not bad against righties.
Good shout. So doing some Seattle lefties only or lefty switch hitters only there. I like it. I liked the Jake Berger one prior to the handedness change of the pitcher, but I'm still fine with Jake Berger, a guy who can homer, multiple times in a game kind of deal. Yeah, I mean, Taylor Ward's been incredible. Zach Neto's been incredible since coming back, and they're kind of buried a little bit relative to talent.
Yeah, that's a good shot. We didn't talk about the Angels at all. I mean, they've just been running so damn hot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd have to think about that. I'd have to think about them. I definitely don't want I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to draft today. I do really want to because not gonna lie, the fill rate looks really low right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to be caught without any Angels, man. They're just playing really well right now. Yeah, Yoan Moncada, I think, would be like the cornerstone of those stacks for me, though.
Okay, sounds good. Potential just spots to be mindful of for rest or anything like that. Atlanta and the Phillies aren't on our slate. They play a doubleheader tomorrow. Toronto is going back home tomorrow to play the Athletics, so might be something funky with the Toronto lineup against the Rangers today as a getaway travel day for them. Houston and Tampa we don't have to worry about, and Washington and Seattle play again tomorrow, so that'll be a 4-game set for them, and it's an evening game. So they're just going to be kind of like standard with the evening stuff. Then Seattle stays at home and Washington goes to Arizona. So if we're going to get anything funky from Seattle and Washington from like catchers sitting or rotationary days, I think it would probably be tomorrow with Emerson Hancock in there opposed to tonight with George Kirby in there.
Good shout, because I do want to draft Cal Raleigh tonight.
Cool. Yeah. Ballpark Pal has Globe Life Field playing ever so slightly better than Angels Stadium today, but those look like the two best implied run totals relative to Park, according to them, and T-Mobile would be third on that list there. Let's rip a draft or two and then call it here, Nez.
Yeah, let's get in here. I saw our buddy Patrick, aka Feed the Freezer, changed the background color of his dog.
No.
So he's he's very active. I mean, that's a sign of some serious activity in the dog app. If you're changing the color of your dog,
dude, maybe I gotta switch it up a little bit here. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong right now. Maybe I gotta switch things up.
It's crazy how like nobody changes their dog, you know.
Something I thought I'd never hear. Jan Mankata, the cornerstone of the stack. What a time to be alive in 2025.
Very 2014 thing to say.
Yeah. GM. Pat Moore Poker rolling through. Give you a boy full upside down boy right now. What a beauty. We got Jay Baconator in here, friend of the show. We got Respooked in here yet again. OMG's in here. And then last night's champ, Harris Chad, aka Chad Harris, rolls the 101. Shout out to Pete 450. If you're hanging out in the chat, say what up. Guys, we got almost 200 of us. What do we got? 171 of us right now. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, all that fun stuff. Please and thank you. Help us feed Mello and Tucker and Theo.
My wife and kid are gone right now, so I don't hear any crying. I can really focus.
Wow,
on these
unbelievable stuff. Oh man, I got a tea time in about an hour here. Nez gonna get out on the old links there.
Yeah, must be nice.
That time of year again. Played 2 on the weekend. Play another one today. Dusting off the clubs here. Actually,
Nick Pam just mentioned me in a tweet. There's some account here that's like, hold on, let's make this pick.
Let's do the Hunter Green thing. I know you are team Matthew Boyd over Hunter Green. I am team Hunter Green this evening. Let's do the Hunter Green thing. And the reason we're not doing the Matthew Boyd thing is we're going to find some of that cheeky Colorado value here.
Yeah, I like that plan. The tweet that he tagged me in says, "This is simply the most skilled era of basketball. Look at those beautiful steps." And it's a highlight of Delano Banton.
Nice. Perfect. That
guy knows so much ball. It's crazy.
That is a fitting one to tag you in. Good stuff. Oh, here we go. Josh was in Eastern BC playing golf last week. It was gorgeous. Yeah, buddy. What courses did you play? Want to know if I've played any of them.
John's a coastal. He only knows Western BC. He doesn't know anything about Eastern BC. Couldn't tell you, bud.
Couldn't tell you. Nah, man, I love me some Okanagan and stuff, which is, a little bit inland and up and over. Good wineries, good golf. Best place to go in the summer, man. Probably one of the best places on earth for golf. No joke. All right. What do you think about a Corey Seager? Or should we go even more contrarian than that? We could do like James Wood and another lefty and then play the righties. We could do the Cincinnati thing. Should we do the Cincinnati thing? We talked about the Steer one.
Do you want to go Cincy Rockies?
Yeah. Nobody else is going Cincy and Rockies.
Absolutely not.
Okay, let's take some of these Reds righties here that we like. Probably should have started with Hayes, Stevenson. Then we could mix and match with like Jordan Beck, Brenton Doyle. Now this is my fucking music here, Nez. Yeah. These are playing the hits out here.
Yeah, this is how you do it. This is how you beat the games. We're giving it all away right here.
Yeah, yeah, it's like you've never played. What am I trying to say? It's like,
I don't know.
You've never won more than 60 games. I'm going to start stacking you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the vibe. Like, that's the vibe of this team right now.
I mean, usually people are going to, they're going to stack their Rockies with their Cubs, or, like they're going to do the good with the bad. We're going to go the bad with the worse. And that's how we're going to take this shit down.
I mean, it worked last night for our guy, Chad. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I think Hayes probably to fill an outfield slot.
Mm-hmm.
Feels good. Grey Wolf and Eagle Ranch. Okay, so that's far east. So that means this guy, Josh, is coming over from Alberta then, for sure. Jumfrey, the worse the lineup, the better. I mean, I've been subscribing to that thesis for a minute, dog.
How crazy? Should we take Rockies and scroll with the Rocky at the same time?
Oh, for sure. I'm down with it. I do think like in terms of like homer bets, like Goodman and Doyle or Goodman and Beck feel best. So I think we got to take one of the outfielders. Unless I
like Beck a lot. I would take Beck.
Okay, so you like Beck more than Doyle?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean like Tovar and Beck probably hit like 1-2.
Yep.
Tolia? Fuck. R.I.P. me. Should have just been drafting Jacob Wilson instead.
Could have had a good man.
I'd do it all over again. I did see there was a couple notes here that could play into our slate tonight. Chris Taylor signed with the Angels. So I just thought I'd put that on people's radar. I'm seeing the Orlando Arcia stuff in the chat. Just fucking classic Rockies road blocking their own young bats by trying to find some dusty vet to throw in. Yeah, so there's that one. There was a couple other ones that I saw earlier today.
Do you think Kyle Farmer starts today?
Yeah, probably hits like 6th or something.
I want some Kyle Farmer.
Okay, so you want Farmer and Stevenson, or you want Farmer and somebody else?
Let me think about that. Stevenson currently leading in the clubhouse.
He's hot too. Since he's come back from the IL, he's got 3 bombs. Two back-to-back days with bombs. He's hot, dude.
Yeah, I like Stevenson, I think.
It seems like the right play.
I wish we could take Buck Farmer with Kyle Farmer.
How many farmers we need? Only one farmer. All right, dude, let's do it. Tyler Stevenson mixed into this one. My guy's been scorching hot in recent memory there. A 3-2 with Hunter Green at the helm. all of 33.2 ADPs or north. Steer, Stevenson, Hayes, Kyle Farmer, Jordan Beck. Can't hate it. Can't hate it. Non-zero chance. Kyle Farmer draws in and moves up in the lineup a little bit versus lefty today. Non-zero chance. He is just a swap there. And we end up with a lineup that has like Tyler Freeman in it instead, or Jacob Stalling or something like that. But time will tell. Time will tell.
Should we do one more where we try to draft a good team?
Nope. That was the best team ever. No, I actually got to run here, Nez. We'll do another one tomorrow there. I already have the show up for tomorrow. It's a short baseball slate in the evening there. Obviously, there's no basketball or hockey either because it'll be the second night of it. So tomorrow's going to be like a 3-game MLB. We'll have plenty of time. We'll probably mess around in the football lobbies tomorrow, do a pug, do a hound dog, some stuff like that. So tomorrow's going to be football and a little bit of baseball, and then probably some pick'em stuff mixed in there as well. I'd be remiss not to ask Nez if there's any home run calls for the days, if we want to share our dongs with the community here, if there is anything that interests you in the lobby yet.
I think it would be something Angels.
Let's see what we got. Angels. Neto's a 2.8.
No. What about Yon?
Dude, Stevenson 3.45. Ooh.
In Kansas City. Yon Moncada 3.59 is an absolute.
All right. Yon Moncada at the 3.59. And then what do we think? One of those Rockies, right-handed Rockies? Doyle 3.14. Polia 3.
I don't know if your third eye is open enough for the suggestion.
Okay.
But what about Ryan McMahon?
Okay.
Against the bullpen once they get to the pen?
Let's see what his price tag is. What's his price tag?
It's got to be 4 something, right? Psh. I can't believe they're letting us do this.
Wow.
I can't believe this is actually possible.
Evergreen reminder to click the little prize basket to see if you got anything in there. 1 BBM entry here gets us, oh my God, like 1 billion more entries. So we're going to lock that bad boy in. Not calling it an L word, simply saying that I'm going to L word it in and share that one with the community there. Ryan McMahon, best hitting conditions of the series thus far at Wrigley. Either gets him lefty or gets it against the bullpen there because the righties do the work and win our lineup initially there. And then Yon Moncada from the left side there against Clark Schmidt. That's a 50, what was it? 59 Xer. 59.43 Xer to close off the show. Share that in the chat with everybody. Make sure you guys got the extendor as well from the beginning of the show. I will copy paste that one last time for the people. I think there was a Hartenstein one in there. There was a Randall lower on the rebounds, and there was a higher on the points, I believe, if memory serves. Drop that in the chat in case you were just joining now and missed that one. Let's tie on a bow on it there. Nez, your boy has to go low out there. Actually playing the same course that I played on Friday. I told you I had an Eagle story for you. Remember how I told you we went on that cruise and everybody was like trying to see eagles and never seen eagles before, and I see more eagles on my daily walk than on there? They're selling like binoculars and stuff like this for people to see eagles. Hole 1, my first golf swing of the season, I duffed a 3-wood off the box like 100 yards, right? And I was like, whatever, it's a 320 hole. It's right down the middle. No big deal. I'm standing over a 5-iron, and right beside me, like, I don't know, maybe like 15 feet to my right where my buddies were standing, there's like a dead mouse or dead rat or something like that these birds are picking at out of nowhere. eagle comes all the way down, goes between the crows, grabs it, takes off, and all the other birds are chasing him. And the eagle landed like literally 10 feet from me to pick up this like mouse or rat or whatever and then go off. And then we got to the par 3 on like, I don't know, 15 or 16 or something like that. And the eagle's right there with this big ass nest right over top of the par 3. It was so crazy, man.
That's pretty sick. I would get great enjoyment out of seeing that.
It was wild. I'd seen them catch salmon and stuff like that before, but never seen it like right on the ground right beside us.
That's pretty hardcore.
Gnarly, man. You were an eagle in your past life. I wish, man. That'd be fucking badass. Those guys are majestic.
That's Viper.
Yeah, that's Viper. I wonder who the Eagles are going to tell him to pick in BBM this year.
I'd like to know.
Save. All right, Nez, we'll tie a bow on it. Shout out to the community for all the big wins last night. Shout out to Chad for gifting out those 10 there. Chad Harris gifted out 10 subs to the community after his big win last night. Just a guy, aka Allen, took down a contest last night, and then T-Box and Sam Olson took one down. Thoughts and prayers are with our buddy BRDMC, aka Brad, in the baseball streets as well there. And we will be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. We will be doing some football. We will be doing some baseball, and we will be building some dong pick'ems on behalf of Nez and myself and the good people at Underdog Fantasy. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.